All right, it's Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with the Hall of Famer, Timothy Bradley. First and foremost, we can do a walk and talk. Just getting straight to the point of this card. I know that Janibek was originally the headline.
Yeah, that shit sucks. It sucks, man. Young man might have, older man or older gentleman might have outgrew the weight class. Maybe he had to started his weight cut too late. You know, he seems like a disciplined guy, so I think he's somewhat outgrew the weight class. Creeped up on him. It sucks, man. He was hospitalized, I think, from what I've heard. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. You can tell me. But I hope he's all right. People don't realize that how difficult weight cuts are. I mean, for every single fighter, man, that is more than half the battle for every fighter. So. When he comes back and when he returns, I don't know if he's gonna come back and fight at 160. He will fight at 160 because he holds two titles there, but it ain't worth the health, man. Move up if you having a hard time making that weight. So I hope him and his team, I hope they do the right thing.
Do you think with the replacement with Muay Thai stepping up fighting former world champion Tevin Farmer?
Well, that was the initial. I thought personally, looking at the card, I thought that's the actual fight of the night. Tevin, we've seen Tevin in the past, former world champion. He's a bit of an anomaly. I don't want to say an anomaly because you have guys like George Foreman. I mean, you got let's see, Rocky Marciano,
Archie Morris.
This young, they started late. They started really late in the game. And Farmer started really late in the game as well, but he's had success. Very skillful guy. Has been kind of behind the scenes for a while. Promotional, COVID, and things like that. But he's come back. He's had 3 fights since his loss to Jojo Diaz, and he's dangerous, man. The kid got skills, and I feel that he's extremely mature. I think he's been in big fights before. This is nothing for him. He understands that he has to get past the young gun in order to have an opportunity to fight for a world championship at the 135-pound weight class, which is hot right now with Tank and Shakur and all these guys there. Keyshawn Davis, Abdullah's of the worlds, but. It's a dangerous fight, man, but I think Muay Thai is ready for this moment now. I think Top Rank's done a really good job with building him and giving him the different styles and things like that from southpaws on. I think his amateur pedigree as well, coming through the system, even sparring, all the sparring he's getting, the great sparring he's getting at Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. So we're going to see, man. This is that opportunity to show that you're world class by beating a world-class opponent, and that's Farmer. So I know them. They're not taking Farmer lightly. I'm sure they worked extremely hard for this fight, but I'm expecting a really good fight. Farmer is one of those guys that in a fight he can take the air. It's almost like taking the air out of the ball. He's one of those guys that can make things very tricky for you. Very cerebral, skillful. Likes to set up his opponents, and as of late, he's been knocking guys out. I mean, he found some newfound power, man. I mean, I know they're lower level guys, but when you knock a guy out, even lower level sometimes, man, like you gain a lot of confidence from that. So he's starting to sit down a little bit more on his punches. He's starting to give a little bit more offense after his defense because he was more of a defensive guy style now. So he's made the minor adjustments to his style to be more entertaining, not only more entertaining, more effective inside the ring, which is good. So I'm curious to see how he's going to fare against a young gun that has power. He's the naturally bigger man at 135 pounds, and he's younger and hungry. So we shall see, man. It's going to be a good matchup, man. So, really good main event, man. I think it's the fight of the night. So anyway.
Now, I don't really want to go into the whole Shakur boring kind of talk because I know that you kind of have that conversation a lot, but a little bit like how you mentioned about Tevin on how he's very cerebral and has all these technical abilities to dominate a guy, but he was able to get a couple like knockouts in his last couple fights, lower level competition. When it comes to Shakur in the sense, I know that a lot of people have given him a lot of praise, but kind of a little criticism on like the sense of his reluctance to kind of throw. as a fighter, I know that fight fans can be critical, and fighters are supposed to kind of focus on the fight regardless. But there's also that balance of pleasing the fans, right? As a fighter yourself, I know that one of my favorite interviews I've done with you was you were speaking about when you fought Ruslan, where you kind of had that balance where you fought Marquez, you boxed him and did those things. But in the Ruslan fight, even though you felt that some of the fans praised you, there's repercussions from that fight. So as like Shakur, where do you draw a line, I guess, as a fighter when they take criticism, or even fair criticism, I like to say, from like fighters like you and other people?
Well, I just think that Shakur is not. I think it's what we're seeing right now is not the finished product. I think he still has development to do, still some learning to do, and I think he has the right people around him to elevate that. It's just I just wonder, can he do it mentally? Is he willing to engage a little bit more? Is he willing to take a little bit more chances? Now that all boils down to him. But I think he knows what he needs to do. I think his people know what he needs to do to be a little bit more entertaining. But I want to talk about Shakur, and I know he said some things about me in the media, and it is what it is, man. I don't take anything to heart. I know the kid, he respects me at the end of the day, and he knows that I know boxing. So, let's talk about the plus minus, man. Let's talk about the fact that how extremely hard it is to hit this guy, man. That's brilliant, bro. Like, that is brilliant, whether you look at it or not, whether you like it or not. Where he can hit you and you can't hit him, and he's directly in front of you. That's something to be said. That's something to talk about. But as far as Shakur and where he goes from here, I should be curious to see. Be curious to see where he's going to end up. I'm hearing Eddie Hearns. I'm hearing
Mayweather Promotions.
Wherever he ends up, I think he'll be fine. One thing you got to note is that we're talking about nobody wants to see him, but the kid has the highest ratings at ESPN out of any fighter. So whether we say that nobody wants to see him, but everybody is have their eyes on him. They're fascinated with him, and they want to see what everybody is talking about. And I think even in his next fight, I think people will watch him fight. People will watch just to criticize, and I think this new way of Shakur and lashing out and going at the media, people in the media, from celebrities on. He's trying to create this villain role now, and he's trying to use it as not only fuel, but also to get more eyeballs watching him, create more hate, and put himself in a situation where many people believe he'll lose, and then he ends up winning, and he'll look like, he'll look like the hero. He'll look like the hero. Like, it's just always been his plan, to create this narrative and just so people can fight him or whatever, and he'll be able to pay good dividends if he pulls it off. So if he beats a guy like Tank, if Tank was to get in the ring and fight him, man, I mean, that's validation right there, man, because everybody know what Tank brings. Tank right now, if you put a poll up, he's the number one guy at 135 according to the world, according to the boxing world, according to people. He's the number one guy. Shakur comes in probably second. So if he beats Tank, he's the man. He's the man. And maybe this is all part of his plan at the end of the day. But people saying, "Oh man, you're flip flopping." Let me just talk about that. So I look at fighters' styles and what they bring. I study film. I see what effects that a guy like Shakur can give Tank. Whether you say Tank loses the first 4 rounds purposely or not, he can be outboxed. That's just it, okay? But going back to each guy's performances, what Tank has done recently, what Shakur has done recently in his last 2 fights, lackluster performances. You gotta look at those. You gotta look at the two. Now you can look at the styles. Yeah, Shakur's style can give Tank fits, but then I go and I just look at what Shakur did this last time out. What did I see? What weaknesses did I see him do? Yeah, can he improve on those weaknesses? Of course, he can get better. But this guy that he faced wasn't a crazy puncher like Tank. Okay, yes, he blocked shots. He took them on the glove. He got out of the way, but there wasn't enough counters coming. You know, it wasn't like when he fought Valdez or when he fought Conceição where he was countering, and he was countering more and he gave us more offense. He was less active with countering. Now, I don't know if that has something to do with his hands, because his hands are sore, because they're small, they're brittle, and he needs to strengthen his hands. Maybe that has something to do with it. But if you fight Tank in that fashion, where he's able to get off heat, because Tank, he punches with heat in combination fashion, and you don't give him nothing in return, he's going to stop you. He's going to catch you, he's going to hurt you, he's going to stop you. So I see the fight as 50-50 now. Now, if Shakur would have went in there and blazed this dude and looked spectacular and stuff like that, then maybe I'll be talking different. But it's okay for me to change my opinion. That's what you guys don't understand. You know, day to day is different. You know, depending on what these fighters are doing inside the ring and outside the ring. You know, so call it flip-flop, call it what you want to call it. You know, I said this last week it was going to be easy, but this was judging based upon what I've seen by both fighters. Okay, that's what it's judged upon. I see where Tank is weak. I see where Shakur can have an advantage, or where Shakur can win, and how Shakur can win. You know, but if he can avoid that bomb, he can win. But if he can't, he's not gonna win. And if he don't punch when he's inactive, he's not gonna win. Tank's gonna be the aggressor. We know Tank's gonna have to come forward and bag up and make Shakur fight. We know that. You know, but this is all based upon recent research, recent stuff. So when recent shit happened, you're gonna change your opinion about things. It's automatic, you know?
And probably the consistency too. You probably look at maybe trends, right? Maybe down the line too.
Yeah, because again, we saw it with Nakatila, we saw it with De Los Santos. Shakur, he gets the fuck out of the way, bro. You know? When that heat is coming at him, he gets out of the way. He ain't willing to gauge. He's not going to exchange with Tank. There's no way. There's no way he's going to exchange with Tank. You know, guys that are willing to exchange. I'm gonna tell you how guys that are willing to throw combination in exchange with a guy like Tank. Those are guys that believe in this. Those are guys that got jingle bells, big ones. You know, brave, believe in their chin. You know, that's it. That's it. Guys like that will exchange, you know, but that we know, we've seen in the past that that's not Shakur's MO. Not saying that the Shakur ain't got balls, because it takes balls to get in the ring, but I'm just saying that that's not his style. That's not what he brings to the table. And yes, fans, you're right. It took me a while to see that. It did. It took me a while to see that. But when I'm starting to see this trend, because I thought it wasn't a trend. Now I'm seeing the trend. The evidence is there. Now I'm like, oh, okay. Now I see. It took me a while to get there, but now I see what everybody else is seeing. You know, now, that doesn't mean that I'm picking Tank to win the fight. That doesn't mean that I'm still picking Shakur to win the fight. Right now, it's 50-50 down the middle. 50-50. And when that fight do happen, if it does materialize, I'll pick then. I'll pick then. But in the past, I said Shakur hands down. As of now, after the last performance too, man, Shakur gotta get better. He has to get better, and it's a little bit as far as his ability, but more so here. You gotta get stronger here. And I'm hearing that this dude is a dog. This dude is an animal in the gym. You know, I'm hearing all this stuff, but he's not showing us. You know, that's it. And I'm not saying take more punches. No, I'm not saying that. Take less punches, but give us a little bit more offense. You know, that's just what it is. You know, and Shakur is the only one that can change people's opinion about him. I can't change that. No one can change that. But I will say another thing. During the course of the fight, I just want to say, just in general, I just want fans to understand that the sweet science is hit and don't get hit. It is. It truly is. It's not Rock'em Sock'em Robot. It's not UFC just going there and throw punches and throw wild punches. No. That's not it. You need to take as less damage as you possibly can and still be able to put on an entertaining show. That's it. Be appealing. Me, in my fights, I didn't have a whole lot of punching power. No, you're right, Shakur. I had 12 knockouts. I didn't have a whole lot of punching power. But guess what? I took chances. And I threw punches and bunches. And I believed in my chin. I've been down maybe, 5 times, 4 times. I don't know what to count. But I've gotten up. And I've gotten up to win fights. And I had a fight of the year, unfortunately. I wish I can have it back. But, hey, that's the fight that everybody remembers most in my career. And so a part of me is happy that I went through it. And there's a part of me that feels that, like, damn, I should have never went through that, at the end of the day. But I wish nothing but the best for Shakur, man. You can, man, look, every time you tweet my name out, bro, every time you tweet something about me, right, wrong, or indifference, or whatever, you and your feelings, it's fine. Tweet about me, Tell me you hate me. I don't care. I like the kid. I think he's a very respectable young man. And I want nothing but the best for you, Shakur. No hate towards you, but I want nothing but the best for you at the end of the day. I hope you, and like I told you after the fight, good luck on your journey. Good luck on your quest. That's it.